Good morning. Welcome to another edition of the Monday Morning Challenge. I'm your host, Roger Love. It is a beautiful, beautiful Monday morning again where I am, and I hope that it's the same as where you are. If you got up this morning and you're listening to this, you are having a beautiful Monday morning. Listen, the weekend is over. It's time to get a new week started for most of us. And, a lot of times we look at Mondays, they're challenging to us, so we have to get ourselves amped up, ready to go, start it, and do another 5 days, 6 days, whatever it takes to get to that day and restart it Monday. We get 52 of these a year, each one of us. So we have to make the most of these Mondays. And every time, Mondays is the start of a new opportunity for you. So understand that you have some opportunities to do some beautiful things every time you get out the bed and get yourself ready. If you've already been up, that's great. If you're not, that's understanding that, hey, I got an opportunity today to do something very, very beautiful. If you're not listening to the Monday Morning Challenge, I challenge you to continuously do this on a regular basis. And what we'll talk about today is discipline. Being able to do this over and over again without being told. When we think about discipline in this world today, there's so much missing with discipline. When you think about what's going on in the news, what's going on in the world, discipline is being told to do something without having to be reminded of it. Discipline is following guidelines and rules that are set, laws that are set for a particular discipline or field that are out there. In life, we're missing so much discipline. When you think about the world with all the violence that's going on today, especially in my hometown, Chicago, in the Midwest, and the African American community, it boils down to one thing. It boils down to discipline. When you think of the world and what's going on with some of the people and some of the things that we see on social media in the world today, black, white, yellow, red, or brown, it does not matter our race or color or creed or religion. It boils down to discipline. We have to be able to be disciplined when we look at life and the things that happen. It's missing discipline, doing the right things, training to do the right things. The word discipline, when you think about it, is to practice, to train, to obey rules. When you think about it, disobedience, to correct the disobedience. See, sometimes with punishment, we think that, being disciplined is being punished. Sometimes that has to happen with that. When you think about that, the Bible talks about that. Spare the rod, spoil the child. Our world today, sometimes there was no discipline. The rod of discipline should have been issued when we think about some of the things that people are doing, because now it's come to the point of carelessness. In life, when you think of discipline, I say this word all the time. Carelessness will cost you dollars. Not knowing, not caring will cost you dollars. Not having discipline will cost you dollars. Not having the proper training will cost you dollars in life to suffer if you don't get a great education. When you think about it, you think about the haves and have-nots. It's discipline that has won. Think about it. Yesterday we celebrated over 20 years ago that Michael Jordan had the flu game. When you think about discipline, I think about that because there's a person that did it despite not really his body wanting to do it, still got out there and played in a game 5 with the flu, throwing up on the sideline, falling basically over as he hit the bench each time, but finding the strength and the discipline to get up and do it in spite of. Sometimes with discipline, we got to find in spite of. Like Monday mornings, in spite of, we got to get up. Young people that are getting ready to go to college, you're going to have to get your butt up out of bed and get to that class, that 8 o'clock class, in spite of. Most young people complain about the 8 o'clock class, the early class. Guess what you're going to have to do when you get out of college? Get your young butt up and get to work at 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock. You have to think about those over and over and over and over again, because that's important that you have to get that discipline, that knowledge, that doing, that training. When you think about discipline, you have to think about those things. But we have to think about discipline too with our thoughts, with our actions, with what we say, with what we do. We have to discipline ourselves. So this week, what I want to do is I want to get you to understand that, right now, when you think about discipline, you either suffer pain or, in doing it and learning it and challenging yourself into being focused, or you live in regret later on forever. I regret doing this. See, Michael Jordan could have did that too. He could have went back and said, I'm not going to play this game. And then years later, I regret not playing that game because it cost us a championship. I would not regret not doing this because it cost me this. See, sometimes with our young people, we got to teach them the right way, because not having that knowledge, that discipline, it will be pain and suffering, or even cost them their lives. We got to understand that some of us even cost us our lives. It either cost us our friendships, our relationships, our marriages, whatever it might be. We have to remember that it cost us those things. But discipline is important. Some people think of discipline that it's just punishment and punishment. No, we have to discipline ourselves. Basically, we have to disciple ourselves to follow certain guidelines. When you think of discipline, you think of discipleship, because discipline basically is the word that branches from discipleship, a following, a doing, a regimen. We have to get into a regimen. You think about discipline, we think about the way we eat, the way we take care of our bodies, the way we do various things. Sometimes we have to discipline ourselves to do those things. We need to disciple ourselves, or get with someone to help us disciple ourselves, to help us discipline ourselves to follow. Because sometime in life, we don't want to reach out and get help from somebody that has done something or is doing something that we want to do, but our pride won't let us do that. But discipline has to come in effect some way and somehow. If you want some success, you got to look at your life and understand there has to be some discipline. You have to get up and do things repeatedly over and over and over the way that you want. When you think about this, you think about with discipline, you think about efforts, you think about your attitude, you think about your actions, you think about your thoughts, you think about your willpower, you think about your self-discipline, your determination to be something or to get something done. You want to lose weight, guess what it comes down to? Discipline. If you want to get a certain job, it's going to come down to discipline. If you want to get an advancement on your job, it's going to come down to discipline. Being ready to take that test to go to the next level, to be able to make that sacrifice to go to the next level. Sometimes discipline is going to require sacrifice. You know, it's going to require sometimes not going out and hanging out with your friends. It's going to require sometimes not eating or drinking and hanging out and doing the things that you used to do. Sometimes discipline is going to require to change the people, the places, and things that you do and be around if you want to get better. See, discipline is the difference between going from good to great. And you hear me talk about that. Don't be good, be great. Don't be undisciplined, be disciplined. Think about that. Don't be undisciplined, be disciplined. Go from good to great, guys. When you get into that land of greatness, nobody has to tell you how to do something. It becomes regular, a ritual, a habit, over and over, and doing it the right way. Discipline yourself right now, or you suffer later. You think about that. You know, think about where you are in your life and some of the things that you desire to do. It all comes from willpower, self-control, and discipline in doing those things to get you that success. See, sometimes people don't want to trust the process of going through discipline, but they want to decide and think about, hey, I want to take no shortcuts. There's no shorts to success. There's discipline to success. There's no shorts to greatness. There's discipline to get to greatness. Discipline yourself, have that self-control, have that willpower, that desire to be able to keep yourself under control. You think about a boxer, you think about an athlete, you think about successful millionaires and billionaires out here. They had to discipline themselves to do the same repeated successful actions over and over and over and over and over again until they had their breakthrough. But they had to be under control. They had to have self-control. They had to have determination. They had to have the right attitude. They had to have the right people around them. They had to follow the right guidelines and rules and training to get themselves to that trained thought of being disciplined to something. You want to get in shape. Most people, the summertime is coming. It's not officially here in the next few days. It will be. Most of us want to get those summer bodies. It's got to come from discipline. I can't eat this. I can't drink that. That's where discipline comes in. You want to get yourself back. Discipline has to come in it. For me, 4 years ago, I had to discipline myself and get myself to a certain place in my life and stop doing some of the things that I had done in the past with my health. And I continue to want to work out on a regular basis and put myself in the habit of being disciplined over and over and over again. When you think about discipline, you got to think about the fact that it's going to require you to have your self-desire, your willpower. You're going to need the right people around you sometimes to encourage you when you don't feel like doing it. You're going to need to do that. Sometimes you don't have those people. It's just going to be me, myself, and I. And you're going to have to get yourself up and going every day. Discipline, discipline. Either do the things that you want to do now to be disciplined or suffer the pain of regret later. Listen, I challenge you this week to think about something that you want to get done. Think about it, now or later. Those two words. You either do it now or you suffer the regret of later that I woulda, coulda, and shoulda. I'll see you next week. Remember, be the greatest you that you can be. And remember, don't be good, be great. Remember that. Think about that, and we'll see you next week on the Monday Morning Challenge. If you want to continue to join me, I'm going to kick over to Instagram over there, and we're going to kind of do this as a backup and a repeat of some of the things that we did. But thank you so much for coming out to check out the Monday Morning Challenge. I appreciate you, love you. I hope you have the greatest week that you can have. And remember, discipline now or later. Be great.